Okay, so welcome to everybody out there who's watching the recording. We have got a packed Prado presentation tour. I probably am going to have a Prado part two, because there's a lot of art that I would love to be able to have on a tour, but is not going to fit here. If you're just coming in, invite you to open up the chat and say hi and to let me know, have you been to the Prado before, or have you even heard of the Prado before? So I'm thinking, as I'm delved more and more into the Prado, it's almost on par with the amount of art at the Louvre. And the amount of intriguing art. It's just a lot of it I'm just not familiar with. I've just been so much more saturated with Louvre art than I have with art from the Prado. But there are certain spaces in the Prado that I think have some, I just have a tour of that space. Google search room 75 in the Prado, and I just have a tour of that. So I've got a couple of quick announcements beforehand. We're going to do a drawing for a winner for the first Touching the Art app raffle. And quick invitation, if you want to support me in my planning for my traveling, I'm gladly taking donations. This is not an admission fee at all. Please feel free to just come in and stay as long as you like and do what you like. But if you would like to do a donation, there's a suggested $10 donation. There's got a Venmo barcode or QR code and a PayPal QR code. Let me give you if you're more traditional, I'm going to give you a link to the PayPal donation I've set up, and I'll put that in the chat. So link to PayPal donation, if that is something you'd prefer to do. Enric, you're saying first hearing of the Prado sounds fascinating. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of background on the Prado before we officially begin there. Let's see who else has come in. Hi, Pooja. And then hi, Guinevere. All right. So yeah, if you're coming in and open up the chat, I'm curious if you have been to the Prado before, or if you've heard of it. Now, let us get rolling. Oh, a couple quick things. We might go to like 15 past the hour, so an hour and 15 minutes. Well, maybe I want to try to do 3 artworks instead of just 2, like focus on 3, and then maybe the last 15 minutes we'll have one more if you want to stick around for that one. And then I also I know sometimes kids are sometimes around. I'm gonna tell you, some of it might get PG-13. There might be some highly charged, maybe bordering on sexual content. So just keep that in mind if that is at all a concern for you. Now, let us keep going here. Quick announcement. I've got a new course coming up. It is focusing on 3 artists and how they are dramatists. I'm going to put a link in the chat here. This is thank you to the Objective Standard Institute for hosting me for this course. It's going to be a 4-part course. You can see the dates there. It's going to be something that's kind of systematic. It's going to feature 3 of my favorite artists, but basically it's taking, okay, how can you create drama in the visual arts? And here are 3 masters that do it in different ways, different kinds of drama from different artists. I'm going to put a link to that in the chat in case you're interested. And also you see there that there's a discount code. The first 10 people who use that discount code get 50% off the price of the course. Let me put that link to the course there. Okay, and I'm looking at the chat. Whenever you have heard of it, never been to the Prado. Oh, well, you know what? Who knows? Maybe one day. Oh, and then Molly, I missed the context for Venus. Oh, the Venus may be the more sexually explicit. Is that what you're thinking? Oh, and Angel, thanks for that that little heads up there. if you know any young people who'd like to join offer scholarships. Yeah, I like young people. Yeah, I spend most of my time with young people. That's true. I teach. Okay, so that's something I just want to give you a heads up on. That's coming up in March. Now, EuroSalon. So the next EuroSalon, if you want to mark your calendars, will be of the Musée d'Orsay in Paris on February 26th, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. And there'll be more. I think the Rijksmuseum is coming up, and the Rijksmuseum is coming up also because there's currently like this world-shattering exhibition at the Rijksmuseum. I see a couple. I see Shoshana. I think I saw your head nod there. Vermeer, I think he created something like 30-ish paintings, 33 or 36 or something like that. And 28 of his works are all gathered at the Rijksmuseum until June 4th. And so I'll be doing something Vermeer related, not just Rijksmuseum, but here, if you know, once you get to the Rijksmuseum and you see all the Vermeers, here's what more you can have. And then I'll probably create a short class or something on Vermeer. Yeah, Musée d'Orsay, huh? Oh, that's, you know, can I say something? Maybe I think I like the Musée d'Orsay more than the Louvre. But that will be for another time. So now next up is Touch in Yard app. Do you have it? Are you using it? If you don't have it, get on board. I'm trying to channel all my social media now to the Touch in the Art app. I wanted to replace my Facebook and my Instagram. And I'm going to share a little bit of how to look at it. And I want to give you this week's painting. I want to go through. Every time I'm going to have a song, I'm going to go through 3 comments that you make that I really like and found valuable, and I'll share those real quick with you. And then Hot Valentine's Day paintings. I mean, I think there are like a dozen romantic artworks. So if you want to take a time with somebody, you know, share some art. I mean, what's more romantic than sharing art? Break out the iPad and get candlelight and wine and talk about how you respond to the artwork. Okay. So Angel, you downloaded, but you're super slammed, haven't been able to try it yet. When you do, I'd love to hear what you think. Guinevere, I'm on board with anyone who drops the traditional social media sites. And then Molly, one thing that's harder in the app is making longer comments because it's hard to type. I've gotten that comment too. And one possible solution to that is maybe like putting in audio comments. I don't know if that would be something that works. So you can use the app directly on your laptop. You can also use it directly, you know, in an iPad. If you don't have it, let me put the link to the app in the chat right here, if you want to check that out. Right there. And so just want to take you through a couple quick things there with the app. This week's artwork, every week I'm adding a new painting. Right now, I've got my guiding questions for this one, and there's interesting comments so far. Today, I've got to put up my reading of this painting from the Musée d'Orsay, and I'll be sharing that, but maybe she'll pop back up a little bit later on today. And then what do I want to do? I want to share, not yet. Let me do this. Let me share with you a few comments. So 3 comments that help me enjoy the artworks that I already know and love really well, even more. And I'm going to share with you this right here. Okay. So what you should be seeing is the desktop version of the app right here. And I'm scrolling up here. Oh, take a look at her. We know her. She's there. And there's one particular comment I want to highlight, and this one that I really like. You should be able to see comments here. Right here, let's see. Jane Walters says, answering the question, what is she doing? She's coming out of her shell. Maybe was a little cherub before, and she's now metamorphosed, or metamorphosed, whatever the word is, into a lady. Reminds me of a stretching, flexing butterfly after breaking out of its cocoon. I love that metaphor. I think I might steal it from my reading. Don't tell Jean. And then Catherine Bauer had something kind of funny here as your title. So many men, but first, coffee. So that's a comment. Let me share with you. Here, another comment that I really like that helped me enjoy painting. For this one right here, you might know. Let's see. Molly, you made a comment here that I really liked. You said you call this one Ice Cream Girl. I love the strawberry pink and the pistachio ice cream colors of this painting and her lost expression. And such a harsh clash, the lost expression amidst the pistachio and strawberry. And that's kind of the feel I have for this whole painting is, oh my goodness, why is there a lost expression there and for this child? So that helped me enjoy that. And then here's one more I want to share. Let's see. Maybe this would be the non-Valentine's artwork, the one you would not want to get on Valentine's. This painting, some of you might remember this one. And Ifat had this comment for this one. So here goes. Ooh, there must be more to the story than this. This is after Ifat listened to my reading. Even the vainest of women would not attempt to murder a man just for his lust. There is probably something to be gained there, a shift of political power and inheritance, perhaps revenge for something else that happened before this scene. Either way, I find myself placing myself mostly in the place of the damsel rather than in the place of the about to be murder victim. That's who I place myself in, like the person she's looking at, or the or the about to be victim or the about to be murderer. I experience her beauty from the outside like any other observer, and at the same time, I can experience the feeling of being enjoyed and desired as she is experiencing. Perhaps it is a feeling which is natural to all women, I wonder. So if you have any thoughts about that and you want to reply to Ifat, feel free to. And so those are 3 comments that I enjoyed on the app. Now, I have just had a slew of folks just come in and you're wondering, what the heck, where's the Prado? Just doing a quick update on the app. And if you're just coming in, I'm curious if you have been to the Prado before. And Molly, you got comments there. I thought I was gonna go to the beheading now. Yeah, Landon, hey, Luca. You could probably use them to drive marketing through short form videos. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be using all kinds of. You're creating content for me. That's the ulterior motive. Okay, so definitely not Valentine-y. All right. If you want something for Valentine's, here are 3 suggested artworks on the app if you haven't seen these before. This one. Her. Oh, Susan, 50 years ago. Oh, awesome. I'd love to hear about your experience when we get to that. Or this one, and this one might be what I think is the most Valentine-y of all the artworks. I'm going to put the app link again if you're just coming in. And I'm going to have, if you're in the Facebook Stories and Paint Facebook group, what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to have a poll for which one is the most Valentine appropriate artwork you think. So we'll be able to look out on that, comment on that, make your case, be persuasive. If you want to put a comment in the app. I know, Enric. I know. I wasn't going for the obvious. And Molly, the middle one. Yeah, I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. But don't put it here. Put it in the comments on the app. All right. So let me know which one you love. Now, I got to do a raffle. So like past 10 days, if you put a comment, I've got a bowl here filled with names. I think there are 14. If you put a comment in, and for every comment you put in, you got a raffle in, and what you're going to win is a whole set of the Touching the Art cards, copy of Touching the Art. I'll throw in like a ebook if you want to give to somebody of the Stories in Paint. I might even throw in something else, but you'll get a prize, Touching Art prize package. All right, drum roll, please. Who is going to win the first one? Let's see. And oh, I'm not looking. The name is, you can't read my handwriting, can you? It's Raja Paramaswaran. All right, so Raj, you win, and I'll be getting in touch with you, Raj. So Guinevere, no worries. You didn't get a comment in today. I'm gonna have another raffle starting now. You put in up to 5 comments. I might even up the ante with a prize. So there we go. Oh, so now, and we had several folks come in. Let's see. Hey, Vicky. And all right. And Pete, you thought you were the only one who preferred the movie Dorothy at the Louvre. Oh, you like the Impressionists. Yeah. February 26th, if you're just coming in. February 26th at 5 p.m. Musée d'Orsay, EuroSalon. All right. So Prado, huge. This is that room 75, the one with the large scale history paintings that are filled with drama, the one that I would spend my time in. It is known a lot for Spanish art, of course, and a lot of Dutch art, and then a lot of 19th century Spanish art, which is where I go to first, 19th century. So I want to start off by telling you what is not going to be covered on the tour, because a lot of stuff is not going to be that might otherwise be, or you might want to see if you're there. And the first thing is, Tom, you recognize this, right? Hieronymus Bosch, the Garden of Earthly Delights triptych, including the famous scene of hell on the right, where it's got some of the most absurdist, crazy depictions of tortures in hell. So one of the most famous early European, Northern European paintings there are. Definitely something to go and spend time with and just come up with the memes. If you're under 30 and you like the memes, this would be a great place to go to. So more that's not going to be covered on our tour. If you love Goya, the Prado seems to be the place for Goya. And I'm a Goya fan. He is dark. He's very dark. He's cynical, but he's dramatic and he's such a good storyteller. So this is a life-size painting and one of a pair. You might know it. I did a class that featured Goya, and it's some of you are here that might remember it and love it. And there was late in his life a series of paintings he did called the Black Paintings, which is basically what he drew on his walls when he's deaf and he's old and he's way cynical. And all those black paintings are there. And these are some of the darkest ones you can imagine. And Angel, you studied Goya in class in Spain? Not very Valentine-y. No. The way I like to think of Goya that might reach some of you is it's Victor Hugo when he gets as dark as possible. So I kind of think of this like, the witch's Sabbath that a lot of folks imagine Esmeralda would be participating in from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. And we're not going to cover maybe the saddest painting in the history of the world. Saddest painting in the history of the world. We're not going to cover it, but I'll show it to you anyway, because what is Valentine's Day except the holiday to be sad on? So here's the saddest painting in the history of the world. I know, Enric. Yeah, I know, Angel. This is Goya. Puja. I hope those tears turn into, like, you got the emoji going, but turn into sad tears. Yes, it's a dog. It's a little dog staring up into the void. There's nothing there. It's like Jean-Paul Sartre if he had a pet. If you're like an existentialist humor, there you go. All right, so we're not going to cover that painting, but I showed it to you anyway. So now, okay, if you're just coming in, I've got 5 paintings for you, and I'm going to try to do 3 of them, and we might go to like 50 minutes past the hour, if you want to stick around for that long. Jean-Paul. There's your title for that one. Jean-Paul Pup. Oh man. Okay. All right. So as I mentioned in the preamble, I'm probably going to do a part 2 with a whole new raft of paintings, because I would, if I were with you in Spain, we would go to the Prado one morning for an hour and a half and do a tour, and then, you know, go do other stuff, and then 2 days later come back and do another tour of a different part of it. I tried to focus, maybe incorporate some Valentine's art, maybe some anti-Valentine's art too, but I'll share what I've got. And of course, what we're going to do is you're going to put your initial title in the chat. I'm going to show it to you very briefly, 2.3 seconds, and just an initial title in the chat for these that have been chosen somehow. Here's the first one. What's your title for this one? That's it. That's all you get. Quick impression, first impression. Ooh. Oh, well, I better go back. So let's see. All right, let me go through these. Keep typing if you're still typing. Angel, you have funeral. Peter, massacre. Tom, the bishop's funeral. Pete. Is Peter, are Peter and Pete two different people? Both in Toronto. Guernica. Guinevere. Okay. There it is again. Guinevere. Landon. An indifferent funeral. Ifat, you have funeral of a beloved saint. Mourning the village leader. Smoke across a bunch of glum faces, putting the saint in Saint Valentine's Day. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, same person. Okay. Oh, you don't get to comment twice. No, you get one voice. That's it. Just don't try to sneak in more comments. Okay. There's the first one. Here's number 2. Strolling in, entering the gallery, and we're looking at this one. What's your quick title for this one? Oh, I think I also gave that earlier on. If you're just coming in, this is we're boarding PG-13 or over for this class. Just a heads up. Just a heads up. This class, this salon. All right. Keep typing if you're still typing. Let's see what we have. Aphrodite by the Sea. Mermaid Love. Bathing Beauty. Tom, alliteration every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Literally twice. Peter, number 1 in Toronto, the only Peter that exists. Campfire Horror Stories. Ifat, Beauty of the Ocean. Okay, Molly, when you regain it, join the crowd of humans and we will listen to what you have to say. Whenever you got Freshness. Judith, you have Quarter Turn. Oh my. How understated. How understated. Landon, The Sensation of My Skin. Oh, Landon, that's intriguing. I like you're kind of putting yourself in her place. Yeah. Peter, what's going on? Wait, is that an old quote, or is that like some kind of humor? I'm seeing a dog now, or is that what she's saying? And then if you're ready for my kidney ultrasound. And Pooja, Soft Seashore Beauty. All right, great. Next, number 3. Here it is. Some of you might have caught a glimpse of this one. I shared it briefly as a little preview. What's your initial title for this one? That's it. That's all you get. First impression. Judge. Judge by your first impression. And even it's just simply asking your subconscious, what am I seeing here? And the first words that come to your subconscious, those are the special words. Those are the words that are almost sometimes mean the most, because that's immediately what pops into your mind. And then exploring those words is important, even if they're really simple words like guy with books. For every individual human being, words are loaded with the associations you make with them. So maybe that's a suggestion that you saw the books. So these titles, remember, even though we're having fun going through them, they are an exercise meant for you to start to tap into your connection with the artwork. All right, let's see. Molly, you say Charlie. Oh, Molly, will you share with us a brief explanation?
I'm thinking
Mhm.
St. John, but King Charles, not yet king,
Oh.
just sort of like a kid on a big throne
Oh
that's
my goodness.
the
Yeah.
books and
Okay. From the play St.
hair
Joan by
big.
George Bernard Shaw. I just did that with my students earlier, my high school class earlier this year. And the Dauphin, King Charles, you're right. He's not ready for the throne. Yeah. Okay. You'll always win my heart, Molly, with associations to literature. Let's see. Peter in Toronto. Oh, the images are out of sync for you? Oh, oh no. Okay. Or maybe okay. Oh, I don't know what it is. I hope you get back in sync. That'll make it difficult. You're hearing us talk about one thing and it refers to another. That could be funny too. Uh, Angel, you have the Haggard Scholar. Landon, What's Left of Life. Enric, I've read too much. Tom, So Boring. Guinevere, The Horror of Curiosity. Oh wow, it's like the Seven Deadly Sins. It takes something that's nice and then turns it into a sin. Like gluttony. I mean, I like food. Why does there have to be a sin in gluttony? No More Illusions, says Judith. And he thought librarian's time off. Okay. Wait, is this going to be number 4? I think it's number 4. Here it is. Rounding the corner, and we step into this room, and there's only one artwork in this gallery, and this is it. What? And then Pooja, you had for the previous one, internet browsing with my cat alongside. Yeah. All right. Quick title for this one. I'm very curious to see what you make of this one. I'm very curious. All right. Keep typing. Let's see what we have so far. Couples finances, couple in business, a good day. We're doing well. I'll give you this much for the stamps. Did we at least break even? The bounty. It's not enough. And it does look kind of like they have a calculator. This object right down here. Yeah, it took me forever to figure out what the heck that was, but close-ups really help with this artwork. Okay, so that's number 4. And one more. One more. Last one. Here it is. What's your initial title for this one? Okay, keep typing if you're typing. Let's see what we have. Homeless. It's too hot here. Children tired of playing. Friendship's first steps. Lazy Sunday. Pixies. Siblings. Let's not do this day. Let's not do this day. I think that's what what Sunday means in Latin. Okay, so great. Let me go back through, and now we're going to hold a semi-meaningless vote, semi-meaningful vote. And I'm going to go back through just real quick and put them all together and then ask you to pick one. If you were to go to one of these 5 first to spend time with, which one would it be? So we have here the funeral. We have here the beauty by the seashore. The librarian's day off. Couples finances. Let's not do this day, Sunday. Okay. All right. So of these 5, and I'm going to put numbers here to make it easier. Which one would you want to spend time with? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or can't reach it. Number 5 is going to be the last one over there. Number 5. Okay. Imagine you had agency. Which one would you go with? Molly, you get 1 vote. 1 vote only. All right. Got 2, 4, 5, 4, 1, 1, 3, 3, 3 or 4, 1, 4, 2, 1. Oh, and hey, Violet. Hey, Sarah. And Linnea, if you're there. Hi, Linnea. Okay. Beauty is 4. Yeah. Let me adjust things. Now I can see where I'm doing. And this one's 5. That's 5 right there. 5 is a couple, correct. Okay. All right. So interesting. It looks like a lot of you are going for number 1 or number 3. But Molly, because you voted several times for number 4, that's the one we might spend time with first. So let's see. You have that much pull. I just like to make you think you do. All right. So of course I want that one. I want that one. It's Valentine's Day. Let's see. So we made a decision. Thank you for playing around. And I've got 2:37 right now. Wow. We're going to, let's see. I'm going to maybe make some of this a little bit more directed than usual. But I still going to give you a little bit of time for yourself, and then of course your comments in the chat, and I'm going to ask questions. But I'm going to give you, let's say, 1 minute with our first painting, this one. Take 1 minute and I'll have close-ups for you. All right. Start to wrap up your thoughts. If you'd like to share something in the chat, feel free to. If you'd like to read if you wrote out something and you would like to read your reading of the artwork, I would love hearing those and hearing your experience if you'd like to share that. If you'd like to just sit back and listen, do that as well. I might ask you if you want to read it. If you don't, just say, nope, you read it, Luke. Let's see. Molly, do you want to start us off and read what you have? Nope. Me. Okay. And I'm going to wait. Then Angel, would you like to read?
Sure, I can read mine.
Go for it.
So we have here a gorgeous lady laying on her side at the sea. She's turning around to look behind her at us, so to speak. But in her world, has somebody come up to her? She has a little smile on her face. I wasn't sure at first. I had to turn my head to confirm, so I was at the right angle to confirm that it was a smile. But she is smiling a little bit. So perhaps if somebody has come up, this person is a friend, or given that she's naked, perhaps a lover. One arm is holding on to the other. Maybe she was supporting her head or just supporting this arm, because I know if I have my arms over my head for a while, they get quite tired. And we saw that there are some spiky seashells by her feet, which reminded me even more of Aphrodite, because of course the famous painting of her in the shell. Her really lovely curly hair is sort of under her shoulder, which maybe gives it a little bit of protection from the rocks, which look kind of rough. And then we see that the wave seems to be coming closer. Maybe she's going to get drenched in the wave. She doesn't seem concerned. Maybe it's warm out. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So the lots I enjoyed in that, Angel, and one of the things I think fundamentally that I enjoyed was how much you were trying to be part of the scene and understand her gestures, trying to figure out what kind of smile that was and what her hand gesture was, and the hair kind of giving her some cushioning there, because those rocks look sharp, and I've spent some time on sharp rocks, but she doesn't seem to mind too much. All right, Angel, thank you. Ifat, would you like to read yours?
Okay. Actually, first, something really interesting occurred to me. I don't know. I don't want to waste too much time, but I thought maybe I'd bring it up as I was listening to everybody, and that is like, I think sometimes art, when you try to understand it very literally, in the sense of putting yourself in the place of the figure, in the image, and you kind of think of it as a real scene, I'm not sure if that's will lead to the best possible interpretation in every single case, because I think sometimes artists create a scene more metaphorically rather than to focus the viewer on a specific story. Like in this case, I kind of perceive the ocean and her to be too analog. Like either the beauty of the ocean is here to as a metaphor for her beauty and her purity, or the other way around. She's kind of like kind of a manifestation of the purity of the ocean. So it's more something along those lines, rather than a woman came to the beach and she took off all her clothes and like laid on the rocks and waited for her guy to show up. And that's kind of how I see it. So
that's a big topic, but there's an artist you make me think of when you describe that, and that's Rodin, where he's got sculptures with these really exaggerated poses. And if you try to take a pose of a Rodin sculpture, you're going to break something, and they're there meant to be almost more symbolic than they are to be, okay, this is a pose you get into. I think the thing that I like to do is to keep that in mind for later on. But the first immediate approach, anytime I get into an artwork, is I've got to treat it like it's reality. That's I'm experiencing as reality, and I'm going to treat it that way. And then afterwards, I can learn a little bit more about how the artist might have incorporated that.
Yeah. Do you want?
Yeah, go ahead. Read what you have. Yeah.
Find it. Her body seems soft and flawless. The bright filtered sunlight illuminating her soft curves. She's resting on the raw rocks, as if she belongs to this place, as if she's an embodiment of the ocean, or as if the ocean is a metaphor for the freshness and purity of her beauty. She gleams back at us as if she's not posing for us, but as if we are just allowed a glimpse of her body.
We're just allowed a glimpse of her body. Yeah, I like it. And you know what? With your artist eye, Ifat, you might even notice some kind of repetitions in forms. But I'll let you think about that or observe that and put that in the chat because I want to get to others. Landon, go ahead real quick. Or if you want to read what you got, Landon?
Sure.
Go for it.
So a young girl lies naked on the rocky shore. She has no protection and no form of wear or to protect her from the elements, and that seems the point. Between the sharp and hard texture of the rock on her skin to the loud crash of the waves in the background, it seems to be an overwhelming sensory experience. This backwards pleased glance seems to indicate her defiance of her weak skin against the harshness of nature, and therefore exaggerate the contrast.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're starting to really imagine being in this place, the way that the rocks would feel against her, the sound here, the roaring and crashing of the wave there. And then I think my favorite phrase is the backward pleased glance seems to indicate her defiance of what seemingly looks like a weak body in this place.
Yeah, it doesn't rationally. It doesn't seem like a great place to be naked.
Yeah.
And
that's where I think Ifat's coming in with this is more metaphorical. Yeah.
And then, but she doesn't seem worried or scared or concerned that she's going to be hurt. She seems a bit pleased and playful and a bit arrogant about it. And I can be wherever I want to be, sort of thing.
So my follow-up question to you to really immerse yourself even more, use pleased and arrogant, and then my follow-up question is, could you find 3 or 4 clues in her body language that suggests that? And if you want to think about that or put those in the chat, and maybe for everybody, what especially makes her look like she's pleased? I'm going to read a couple.
What?
Yeah.
I see.
You got something real quick?
Off the bat. Yeah. So first is that her arms and breast are exposed to the waves and the elements. She's not guarded and protecting her vital organs. She's not even looking towards the potential danger and any kind of concern. And then of course just the look on her face, the half smile, the open, easy eyes seem to indicate little to no stress whatsoever.
Open, easy eyes. I like that. There are probably some more little clues out there if you want to take a look. I'm going to read some of the other thoughts here. Thank you, Landon. Let's see. Molly, you have blue waves, hard spiky shells, soft skin, lounging luxuriously with alert eyes toward the viewer, lips parted, soft curls of hair, a curving spine, nipple, big eyes, twined fingers. Oh, yeah, those fingers. Hourglass-shaped feet, round toes, splash, opalescence. Oh, good word. Crashing, bending, stretching, maybe a sigh. Hot under the collar. All right. And let's see. I'm going to read some more. Violet, she has a small head. She looks happy. She doesn't look cold, although I would assume it would be cold. She looks restful. And Sarah, she's very pale, looks very delicate. And Linnea, she looks naked and she looks like she's going to go swimming. Is she going to go swimming, or is this just going to be right here for the rest of the day? That's interesting. Susan, at first it looks like the waves will cover her, but then if you look to the right, it looks like she is on a cliff. So this is something that I've been curious about. Is that wave going to crash on her? And I'm going to go back over here to this. Is she overlooking a cliff, or is that wave there going to meet her? And in the next moment, if you push play in the scene, it's going to crash on her.
I think the fact that you can see where she's at has been recently hit with water, and that there are active shells right nearby suggests it's much closer. And I mean, it seems to, like, the shoal seems to connect there.
Yeah, that's I like that you point out the water that's already there, little pools there, and the shells. That's my impression here as well, that it's connected, and that in the next moment she's in the splash zone and she's going to get wet. And what does she think of that? Let me just expose myself to it. I want to be
just
here.
Wet. I'm like Final Destination, seeing that one really spiky shell just like coming right out at
No,
her. Like,
no, stop. Nope, you're not allowed to comment. No, no. Get away. Let me read some more here in the comments. Enric, you have serene body and turbulence of the ocean waves. It's true. And Susan, the shape of the wave certainly copied the curves of the body. Yeah, notice that? Right up here and right here. And what more? Let's see. Inviting eyes and mouth, engaging to speak, says Enric. The reflection of her foot says the surface is wet. All right. Molly, you're thinking maybe it might be Andromeda. Interesting. All right. And then Tom, you've got hard to tell how far the waves break or where she is, but the water does come this far. Yeah. Okay. So let's do some background here. Title of this painting is The Pearl and the Wave. The Pearl and the Wave. That doesn't help much. Of course, it should make us think of Venus, right? Venus, Aphrodite. If you remember the myth, she was born on a wave. She was born on a wave. And often that was associated because of the foam, the white substance that is part of bringing birth about. Now,
I'm sorry, can you clarify?
Can I clarify? Later, I'll let you put that together. So what we have here maybe is a young woman who is showing herself, her naked body, her sensual body, ready for the crashing wave to come against her. And perhaps this is metaphorical, that there is something romantic and sexual that's going to happen here. And you're getting a peek at it. And she is looking back at you. Now, the question is, what kind of quote is she saying to the person she's looking back? And Angel suggested perhaps this is a lover. What could she be thinking? Or if she were to speak right now, what would she say? What would she say? I've got one. You know what I like to do? I always like to get dramatic and show close up. Don't you wish you were here? Oh, and Landon, we never had to take any of this seriously. and Rick, I'm ready for our close up. Hey, Ron, I'm glad you made it to the tail end of this painting. I thought you'd like it. And Judith, you see? Okay. So I want to stress perhaps a little bit more of the meaning with this painting. A moment of unbridled enjoyment and looking for anticipation of desire. That's, I think, how I'm formulating it. And compare it. Oh, there's an even better close-up. Yeah. We'll come back to this in a moment. I want to compare it to her. You may or may not know, but I'll tell you right now that this is a painting of Aphrodite, of Venus, also on a shell, her birth. Just like this might be a suggestion of a birth of Venus on the left-hand side, but there's a big difference between the two Aphrodites. What is the difference in their attitude towards the people around them? So Guinevere, I'm calling both Venus, and they're probably both meant to make you think of Venus. The one on the left, the title is the Pearl and the Wave, but that's just a vague title, and it's everybody who's looking at this will think of Venus. And Venus, oh, Guinevere and Venus and Aphrodite, yes, I'm using those two interchangeably. Venus is the Roman name for the goddess that is the Greek named Aphrodite. Yeah, thanks for helping me clarify that. And let's see, I've got some comparisons. Ifat, you have one is more vulnerable and accessible than the other. Oh, Ifat, which one? I don't know which one you're meaning. Which one, the left or the right?
Well, I mean, the one reclining is much more vulnerable than the one standing. I think the body language communicates something different. Like when you're standing, you're sort of telling people, admire me, but like admire me from a distance.
Okay.
When you're laying down and like
yeah.
You can kind of feel like you can put your hand into the painting and move your hand across her body. She's a lot more vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see that. And it's a more intimate pose to take. Whereas the one on the right, I like the way you describe that. It looks like she might be showing off a little bit more. Let's see. Angel, you have on the right, she's watched by many, but doesn't seem interested. I think I get that too. Tom, left is engaged, right side is detached. Molly, one is looking kind of toward us, the other is kind of unaware of us. Landon, the right, Venus Aphrodite is more indifferent, while no one is, I don't know what that is. The left one is more emotionally available than the right. I see you've got a follow-up there. Enric, on the right, she's inner reflecting, on the left, looking out to someone. You'll have to wait for my reading later today of this painting to find out more. Guinevere, I didn't catch your reading above. Yeah, you want to read it out loud? You're able to do that?
Yeah, okay.
Go for it.
Hold on, let me find it. I gotta go back up.
Okay.
So much.
and while you're doing that, I'm going to set this up for a personal connection for this one. How would you personally connect to this? And maybe you could do it in two ways. One is to imagine you as her, yourself as her. And when would you feel that intimate, that desirous, and of course, this is private, but maybe Valentine's Day is a good time to think about when you would want to just let the wave hit. And perhaps also, if you're putting yourself in the place of looking at her, who in your life would you want to be looking at like this? And maybe there are moments like this where there's a kind of complete vulnerability, as you thought put it, openness to desire, where it's almost like Landon put it, a challenge to the world, the waves and the cracking of the rocks and that texture. All right, Guinevere, go ahead.
Yeah. So when I first looked at it, I had the feeling she was washed up by the waves instead of being there on shore. She came from the sea, right? Because there's half the oyster shell at her feet.
Yeah.
Perhaps she's the pearl washed out of it.
Yeah.
But she's dry, so she's been on the shore for a while.
Yeah.
So I think the tide is ebbing. So it's like she slept after kind of being born from the sea. And as she She's stretching, she's looking
That's
back to see where
interesting.
she is. And she has an alert, intelligent, slightly flirtatious expression with those slightly open lips.
Yeah.
I feel like she's thinking, or like, what's next?
That's intriguing. So rather than, as I've been describing it, kind of the wave might be crashing up against her. She came from the sea. This is Venus coming from the sea, and now she's laid before us. That hard surface is like the hard surface of the of a shell that she was the pearl of, and now she's opened up to us.
I thought of the birth of Venus when I saw this painting and I saw the oyster shell at her feet. I thought it reminds me of the birth of Venus. I didn't realize it really was the same.
No, that's great. That's great. And then let's see, Landon, you put down, let's see. I'm personally connected to this because I'm actively trying to let my guard down in order to feel and experience the world more intently. Oh, I like that thought, and I like that this painting is a reminder of it, of just let yourself be open to pleasure and joy and letting your guard down. Yeah, I like it. And then Landon, you've got the act of protecting oneself emotionally and sexually cuts one off from values and emotions. Any literary connections that you have? Any characters from literature you think of who would be this person? Whenever you love this painting, you'd like a print of it. You could go to the Prado Museum, download the image that they have there. It's high quality, 2.5 megabytes, and print it on photo paper from your printer, and you'll have yourself, if you want something quick, you'll have yourself a really nice print. Oftentimes with prints, you never know the quality you're going to get. And then Landon, you have even let yourself open yourself to pain. And as you're thinking of maybe any literary characters, Dominique, when she comes to Rourke, yeah. Dominique, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, just not a literary character, but last night Tom and I were watching a show called Endeavor, and there was it revolved around this girl who was a model for painters a lot, and she was also a redhead. She was, I think, and also interested in art, so her knowledge of art history was actually central to the plot. So she reminds me of that girl.
Well, then you're making me want to watch the show now. It's like ticking a lot of boxes. Okay. No, Pooja, I like that one. I'm gonna think more about that one, Dominique. Sometimes what I like to think about, one way of connecting the characters or connecting the characters in a painting to characters in literature is to ask myself, would this character like this painting? Would Dominique at the beginning of The Fountainhead like this painting? She might, and then she would like put in the furnace. I don't know. So that's one way to think about it. And then one more question is to wrap up with this is, what's one detail from this painting you especially like? And I'm looking in the chat while you're thinking of that. Molly, you have Tessa de D'Urbervilles. Interesting. Guinevere, the woman Hugh Kendrick loves in the Sparrowhawk series. Angel, you think Winan would like it? Ifat, her feet. Angel, you adore her expression, particularly the intensity of her ideas and her flirtatious smile.
Eyes, not ideas.
Oh, eyes. Thank you. Eyes. Yeah. Yeah, those eyes. I think I like those eyes too. Love it all. Ron, the facial expression. Enric, the flowing strands of her hair. Judith as well, her feet. Landon, it makes you think of Kira. Is that from We the Living? Yeah, in Defiance of Pain. Pooja, there are muscles, skeletal details supporting her soft body. Amazing. Yeah, you can kind of see her rib cage a little bit there. It's true. Yeah. And then Angel Kira sitting on the rocks looking out at the sea in Crimea. And then Guinevere, the triangle formed the eyebrows, eyes, nose, mouth, and chin. All right. Okay, so we're already at 3:05 Eastern time. And so I want to, maybe I'll give you a choice. I'll give you a choice. We'll do one more together. And I'll give you a choice between this one and let's see. I'm going to stop the share here so I can navigate without spoiling anything over to the other one I'll suggest. Or this one. The funeral or the kids? Which one? Funeral or kids? So far, it looks like funeral is winning. Okay. And Violet, I say you put funeral as well. Okay. Yeah, I will, Landon. All right, so we'll do the funeral. We'll do the funeral. The kids will pop up at another time and place. And let's see. So I'm going to go back here and set us up for what I'm going to do is I'm going to do things differently. I'm just going to take you through, and as you're going along, make comments in the chat as kind of like a real-time reading. So if you like write a sentence and push enter, and so we're going to kind of read this out loud together. I got to tell you, I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it. But I am glad to explore it with you and see if it's something that you do like or that does have meaning. It is intriguing in any case. So here it is. What do you see going on? What do you see going on in the scene? And no matter how small the detail, feel free to just jump on. The focus is on a black and gold coffin. What more do we see? What more do we see? And what does this coffin tell you about the status of the person? There are 3 candles, a small fire giving off lots of smoke. That is a lot of smoke, isn't it? High status. I've got drapery on it and around it. What is the attitude of that figure in black towards the coffin? Landon will come to everybody looking more bored or indifferent. Figure looks apprehensive. Enric, you're saying looks like people have been there for a while. Molly, double eagle in the coffin looks vaguely Russian, Germanic, maybe a Prussian king. Okay. Any other comments for her? Yeah, so I'm going to go back to the full here, take a look at some of these people. Why campfire, I wonder? Good question. Draw out some possible conclusions. She looks shocked. They look almost forced. They're out of duty. Candles are still tall. Not an extraordinary amount of time has passed. She looks both mannish and pregnant. Weird. Okay. Cold. Been there some time. All right, so here's some close-ups. Yeah, it looks like one person is cold. Look at her in the black on the right-hand side, kind of warming herself. You know, it would be a good game. Who looks the most bored? Who looks the most bored? At least we got a couple people who are somewhat engaged over here. Is that a priest who's reading? Yeah. or is he reading out loud? I don't see. Maybe he's reading quietly. They do not look like they're near any buildings. Maybe they're at a battlefield. That's an interesting observation. Maybe she can jump in as qualifies one of the most bored ones. Maybe not. Is there a stone structure in the background? We'll take a look at that in a moment. Let's see. They do not. Maybe they're on a pilgrimage. The flames are blowing sideways. Thanks for the quote, Enric. How much longer? She's given up on her rosary and is now warming her hands. Is that a cushion and a portable throne? Those on the right seem to be relatives, and they've been there in the cold for some time and don't care about the dead, while there's a line of people dutifully paying respects the important figures. Oh, here's some more. Yeah, the mingling has started, I think, in the background here, while a couple of people are putting up still their face of we're paying attention. Oh, man. Okay, can we see a little bit more closely at her face and see exactly what her reaction? Oh, let me ask this question. Has she been standing for a while? Or was she sitting there? Oh, was it somebody? Was it you, Molly, that point out that there's a cushioned seat right here? Yeah. And it looks like the smoke is right here spraying that cushion seats. Did she just get up because the smoke has started to turn? You know how you're at a campfire and the smoke starts to turn? Okay. And whenever you have a quote for the others out there, let's get out of here already. If she's pregnant, she probably wouldn't want to stand too long. I'm going to close up on her face. What's a quote for her? It's so confusing. So Molly, the thing here then is to ask the question that is confusing you. Try to find the things that seem to not go together and formulate that into a question. Oh, I thought, oh, that's a quote. I'm sorry. All right. That's a quote for her. I'm lost. And then Angel, you've seen tears in her eyes. You know, but it's still, I'm kind of lost with this painting too. Or when I first saw it and didn't hear the background story, I was like, what the heck is going on? Why is everybody so indifferent while she seems to be saying, what am I going to do without him? Look at what you're left with. Look what you've left me with. Oh, she's a widow or nun. I think she's one of the few who will miss him. Maybe the only one who will miss him. What am I going to do now? She's not heartbroken, maybe. Upper left. Oh, sorry, I don't. I think there's like some more folks. It looks like a train of people and then another kind of group, like a whole parade of people that are there. All right. So just to sum up what we have so far. Yeah, why are they out in the middle of nowhere? We have what looks like a funeral procession that is going on for a long time that has stopped in the middle of nowhere, where they seem to be waiting for something or saying some words, having a pre-ceremony, because it doesn't look like there's any grave site here. Maybe they still need to get to the structure over here, but everybody has been here for a long time in the cold. But she, though broken, maybe lost, is still intent, looking down at his casket. All right, this is one of these background stories that is really popular in Spanish art that I had no idea about. But there are several paintings several large-scale paintings at the Prado that have this background story. And Lanny, she seems to be in a desperate situation. And Enric, it looks like there's a marsh between them. their circle around. Yeah, they've got a circle around kind of a marsh. That's true. Yeah. All right. So the background story here. This is a statement that was accompanying another painting of the same subject that the artist of that painting incorporated here. I just copied and pasted it and kept the nice font. The Queen Joanna ordered the corpse of her husband, Philip the Fair, to be removed from its coffin. And see, these are events before. Well, you know what? I'm not quite sure. Maybe we can decide that. When does this take place in relation to the painting? She ordered the corpse of her husband, Philip the Fair, to be removed from its coffin and be placed in their chamber in a richly bedecked bed, recalling what a certain Carthusian monk had told her about a king who resurrected 14 years after his death, and his body had been kept unburied. She did not separate herself for an instant from his side, hoping for the happy moment when she would see him restored to life. All the insistence of the most respectable personages from her court was incapable of dissuading her from her obsession, and she always responded to them by telling them to be silent and to wait for her lord to awaken. Ifat, I saw you make the gesture. The title, I think, is The Mad Queen. Now. Oh, don't want to bring that up yet. Not yet. Let me bring this back. So what do we have going on here in this moment? The queen gets the privilege of spending as much time delaying saying goodbye to her beloved husband, even when it's beyond everybody else's endurance to do so. They're indulging her. She's waiting for him to wake. Everyone getting dragged along with her insanity. If we're being ungenerous, if we want to be generous, her devotion. There's probably plenty of stories of lovers who go through very, I mean, what's worse, Romeo and Juliet or this? She wants to stand there 14 years. Well, I've got two suspicions. One suspicion is this is on the way to the funeral, but instead of burying him, she decides, I'm going to take him into my chamber and put him in bed. And there are paintings that depict that, where he's in bed, his corpse is in her bed, and she's just waiting for him to reappear. Ifat, I've seen the episode where Buffy comes back to life. It doesn't end well. And getting a moment here, kind of moment to personally connect to. This is the painting that came to mind for me. So this is one of my favorites in Stories in Paint and the app. This is also somebody who's mourning, somebody who's gone. But even though she still carries the pain, she is moving on with her life. This is Calypso, who Odysseus has said goodbye. And those of you who might remember that painting or want to check it out again, take a look at it, get a sense of it. But there are two very different attitudes to mourning here. Guinevere, you do not want to print in your home. Yeah, fair enough. And Landon, this seems to be the before the unearthing. She's wearing black. Everyone is paying respects, and there is fine cloth draped over the casket. You can relate to her. I have trouble letting go, accepting loss. However, instead of hoping for some supernatural resurrection, I feel like I can think my way out of things. Landon, I like the sympathy, the empathy you're showing by putting yourself in her place, and the sympathy by seeing that there is something that you can connect with that is there in her feelings. Yeah. I've had days where, boy, I did not want to let go. I still wanted the thing to come back, to wake up, and it's still there. The past that I loved. And this is what she's doing for, I think, the rest of her life, hoping we might have it on a smaller scale. We might get some therapy. But this is a dramatic portrayal of what that looks like. And you know what? I'm starting to like it the more I talk about it, because it's making me think of like some of my all-time favorite characters. Those of you who know The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Sister Gudule, who worships the shoe of the little baby that she lost. Yeah. And Molly, you can think of a personal connection now. I'm glad. And Molly, you think the painter is sympathizing with her and her reluctance to go as fast as everyone else, and showing the others' importance as impatience as less important. Yeah, that's one thing I've wondered about this is this story that we're seeing here sympathetic to her? And you're thinking it is. So my follow-up question, Molly, would be, what do you see that makes you say that? Landon, there are other paintings, and maybe of that scene, yeah, of the one where she has her and has him in her bed. Why is it not so prominently featured? The one who looks shocked, that is Queen Joanna. That is Queen Joanna. So she's in black and mourning. Yeah. I don't think she's pregnant. Don't think she's pregnant in the story. Let's see. And literary connection, Angel, the wife in Ibsen's Brand, who doesn't want to let go of the child she lost, holds onto his clothes, hangs a wreath in the window that looks out onto his grave. Yeah. You know what? Also, this is making me the contrast, Molly, that you're highlighting makes me think of the individuality of grief. It is something very personal, that no matter how much people can be there and to accompany you in the wake, it is still yours and deeply felt. And though the title and the background is that she's mad, the fact that she is not paying attention to them and this is still her moment, I like that. Oh, Molly, Miss Havisham from Great Expectations, right? Who keeps wearing the wedding dress? What the heck's going on? I thought I wasn't gonna like this painting. I'm liking it more and more. Let's see. Any final titles or detail you especially like? And then we're gonna wrap up. We're already, yeah, almost gonna get 30 minutes past the hour. Oh, and Landon, commentary on nuns. The tree, that bare tree, huh? The wagging ruts in the far left. Yeah. Any more individual details? And the final title, Landon, you've got It's the Hope That Kills You. And Molly, candles, even though it's daytime. Angel, her eyes. And Enric, you've got a title, Nevermore. And Guinevere, compare her eyes to Venus's eyes. Let me go back and show the eyes. Yeah. Yeah. And so Guinevere, here's thinking of prints. You have the print of the thing that you want, but the comparison helps you enjoy the print that you want even more. And Peter, this was called The Funeral by someone early in the discussion, but I actually thought it was the burial, that the coffin was meant to be lowered into the hole underneath. The companions think the burial is imminent, but they could be there for 14 years. Yeah, I'll repeat that, Guinevere. keep a print within your mind of this, and that helps you enjoy the real life print even more, just as implied contrast. All right, I'm not gonna have a print of this, but I might look at it again. I think it might speak to me. You know, one of the purposes of art is to make things extreme, to take the things in your life and to make them even more so that. Yeah, Lennon, these women are complete opposites from the two paintings. It's true. It's true. All right, there you go. Master's thesis on Venus versus Mad Queen Joanna. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed those. I'm going to I've got one more request from everybody. I've got a request. This is to help me pick the next artwork out for the Touch in the Art app. And I would like, you know what? I'm going to have 3 instead of 2 on the docket. So for the next artwork for the Touch in the Art app, I would like for your vote to count. And let me share my screen. And let me ask you this. Of the 3 that we did not do, so I'm going to add here. Number 1, number 2, or number 3 will be the children. Which one would you want to see on the app next? Molly, you're using the same trick and thinking it's going to get you there? Wow. Number 1. Number 1. Okay, any more votes? A quick reminder, if you enjoyed your time, consider a donation. I'm planning my trip to the Prado. I'm getting my Rick Steves, watch the Rick Steves Madrid episode. And I might be going sooner rather than later. But yes, suggest a donation if you'd like of $10 on Venmo or PayPal. And let me put the PayPal link in the chat one more time if that's something you'd like to use. Otherwise, it looks like the next artwork is going to be number 1 here, and I'm going to put it up right away. So continue the experience on the app. In 5 minutes, I'll have it up for you. Everyone, thank you for joining me and for making me research a little bit about the Prado. That was fun. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, Angel, thanks. All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.